Imagine moving halfway around the world to start your dream garden, building it from the ground up, literally. That's what Jefferson did when he moved from the US to Vietnam with his wife. But this wasn't just any ordinary garden. As he sifted through the soil to build this garden, he uncovered pieces of history. Coins, artifacts, and stories that tell such rich tales of the past. If you're curious about these fascinating finds, I'll link the full story to my other channel once it's live. But now let's dive into the garden tour. Yes, the conch shell. It's one of the treasures that Jefferson found when sifting soil.
Hey, you guys, I don't need a shout, I have a mic.
What? What?
Guys, I can't wait to show you guys a home garden here in Vietnam with Jefferson.
Greetings, everyone. Welcome to my wife and my little tropical garden. I hope you enjoy and learn something.
All right, let's get started. Actually, when I first arrived, he was like, I gotta take these bags in.
Some of the bags of donated produce to feed my compost pile.
Oh yeah.
These are from jackfruit. I clean out and take much soil into my garden, and I use it to help build up the soil. I mix it with all kinds of organics, you know, bananas and jackfruit, everything. It's nice. It's just free soil, free exercise. You know, it's a good way to clean the neighborhood. Hello, Concha.
They smell great.
They do, actually.
They do, because they're fresh. You leave them out just for like, I think by the end of the day, it'll start to have a little bit of that ferment smell.
Oh, it'll smell like a brewery.
There are 2 bags. Oh my God, this is probably heavy. 2 big bags. How often do you get these? Just like different things.
Daily. I get these daily.
Daily, wow. Give us a little bit of backstory of the garden. I think you moved here like 8 years ago and...
Moved here 8 years ago, and then we were hit by a La Nina flood season. And the house flooded several times. The garden was always full of, you know, 1.5 feet of water. So we had a lot of work cut out for us.
You can see all the mosaic work. It's actually, and a lot of the things he showed me inside the house, old things that he found through sifting through the soil.
Flooding killed several fruit trees and giant jasmine trees, but we managed to dig some wells into the ground, and we capture the water. We use that to water the garden. Also, there in the walls, there's 3 one-way valves to let water out at a certain level. The place can still flood some, but not like it did before. Also, the new roof catches all the water and pipes it right on out to the street. So that reduces the water in the garden 20% right there.
Because the water is constantly moving when it's rainy season. When it's not rainy, then this is just dry, right? But then the water, it's always like fresh water moving out.
Fresh water.
So there's no like mosquitoes, right?
Yeah. Or we use it to water all the time.
When you come in the house, the garden section's off, right? Like the left and right, and it goes like wraps around the house, entire house. And then we got this side with the banana. So this is like, is this the lower side, the more wet side?
This is sopping wet. There's a sewer that runs on the other side of that wall, which I managed to block off from the garden property.
Is this all rainwater you're using, like 100%, or do you have to sometimes use the city water?
Sometimes if we're lazy, we can use some of the city water. Several months ago, we had an incredible hot spell that lasted for 2 months, and everything was bone dry, and so we used water from the house.
The water level is really high here.
This is the water level, the groundwater level.
Currently?
Currently.
Wow. This is groundwater
And
level.
the old driveway.
Nothing like California.
The old driveway was right underwater here. You know.
Wow.
And so, new driveway, elevated. You know,
no more floods when you're walking
No more
around.
floods like that. This is a planting from a small island off of the Venezuela. The island is actually
cool.
a Dutch-owned island, and this does plantains, and they're about this big, and they're fat, big fat, and we cook them sometimes. Sometimes we just eat them like a banana. bats live up in the trees.
Oh, cool. So do you use bat guano?
There's not enough bats. Yeah. I come out here and maybe do some little work in the bananas to trim them out, and I'll accidentally disturb several bats, which I would love a bat house. You know, for this neighborhood could use a bat house.
This is like groundwater?
Groundwater.
Oh, that's why it doesn't, like, it just stays, right?
It stays until I pump it all out. In the
Dry.
dry season, this is just slightly damp, which is perfect for gardening.
Do you have to come out to water often during the dry season?
We did this the last couple of months because it was such an incredible hot season. We did house water.
After you plant things in ground, right?
Yeah.
It pretty much takes care of itself, like most of the year.
Yeah. I don't really water any of the trees in the ground. Bananas or mango, it doesn't matter. Because the soil's only so deep, and then beyond that is the clay. Clay keeps a lot of water
Yes.
in the ground, in the nice soil.
So what would you say the soil is like? Obviously, you're building on a lot of compost, right? That's like jackfruit, like shell or the skin
Jackfruit,
right
bananas,
there. Those are like
tree
sea cucumbers that are just jackfruits rotting.
That's jackfruit. That's jackfruit body.
Yeah, jackfruit.
But anything that's made out of plastic or plant, it goes into. I just throw it in here for now. Later, I will turn all this under. As I do, we'll look for scorpions, but I will turn all this under, and it becomes soil a lot faster.
Is it often to see scorpions, or any time of the year in particular?
When I'm working hard, I find them under my feet sometimes because I disturb their little house. They're like little to big.
God, they are huge.
And I have found several. I've found over
cool, but
20
not-
in my house.
20?
More than 20 actually.
Over the course of 8 years?
And this variety in the middle here are one we don't eat them. We don't let them grow. We cut the flower and give the flower to a neighbor, or we cut the leaves for all the neighbors. These are like the little baby bananas.
Ah, yeah.
Okay.
Oh my God, Amberella! Chico?
Now some of these I've seen in the market that are much bigger.
Is this
know.
different variety?
Well-
How big do these ones get?
That's about it right there.
Oh, so this is the smaller, because they do have ones like double or 2.5 times.
Yeah.
That was like a large kiwi or something. Yeah. So these ones are good. I think a lot of people do like pickling or slice them out and put them in salads.
Yeah.
You just kind of like let them marinate in the sauce, right? Yeah, very pretty. The only taste. What do you think? You ever eat them?
Yeah.
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 Okay.
And a friend of mine likes to eat these
Oh
when
my
they're
God,
green.
the fragrance.
When they're green, because they're a little sour.
Very, quite sour. Like if I can't grow them like to fruit, I still wouldn't mind growing it just for the leaves. It's just that good to me. Oh my gosh! And then another one of my favorite fruits, very hydrating. We call it jambu, which is a jaimang.
Well, it tastes like an apple and a pear kind of together.
Yeah, very watery.
But they're red, and they're more shaped like a bell,
a bell. Okay, you
kind
have
of
that.
bell shaped, you know.
Yeah, I'll point you guys to those videos I've done in the past. I love these tropical trees, like the fruit trees. The leaves smell. A lot of them, the leaves smell like the fruit.
Yeah. This one is growing out
Yeah.
of the bottom of the pot,
Yep.
and I have an apple tree that did that same thing. I have 2 apple trees.
What kind of apples can you grow here?
I think in the U.S. we would call them some kind of a crab apple.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
for like apple ciders and stuff. Or-
Yeah.
Okay.
But they're crispy, you know?
yeah.
There's a nice flavor.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
what are these for? I've seen people that had these. Are you attracting the little bugs in there, like the fruit flies?
These are all little fruit flies
Oh yeah.
that would have
Loads of
loved
them.
to have just made a hole in the fruit, you know,
Yeah.
and set up home.
Okay. Ooh, look at
That is so many. That is so many. That from 1 year.
That's 1 year.
Yeah.
Oh, that's 1 year of stuff on my legs.
Oh. And,
So, what do
and
you put in there to attract them at first?
My friend at a nursery gives me this stuff that you mix 2 little bottles together, you know, 2 little bottles together and put it in there, and I don't know how
don't
it
know
would
what it
work,
is,
but
though.
every time
Yeah.
I go to one of these, it's full.
Oh, this is a pink guava, right?
the pink guava. And I get to so many on here, 30, 40, 50. If you kind of prune off some of the branches and prune off some of the fruit,
Yeah.
the rest of them get a little bigger. And the branches
Yeah.
get a little stronger.
Oh, and these things, they call them like 10 o'clock here.
Yes.
And they're like little succulents that actually, they grow really well here. They grow well in like full sun. You just pluck them off and stick them in the ground and they'll just root. I really love the idea that Jefferson actually turned this, basically replaced the lawn, you know, grass with this. So even though he's not growing a lot of different like flowers, he's still bringing in the pollinators and just so much beauty and adds a lot of color to the garden. As we move along on the side part of the garden, this is one of my favorite plants that I really would love to be able to grow this well in Southern California, but it hasn't been. Winter is still a little bit challenging. They grow like weeds out here, but this is like part of the more lowland or like a more swampy side of the garden. That's why Jefferson's have planted these in, but look how lush they are. It was just like, it was like perfume as we were walking by. You can just smell them on their own. And usually in Vietnam, they don't do a lot of like savory dishes with these, but in like, I think parts of India, Malaysia, they would do that. They would add in curries and, soups and things. And you can actually really add fragrance to even your rice, like maybe your jasmine rice. They mostly use this for sweets, and it pairs so perfectly with coconuts. Like, I can't think of a better combination. This is like grassy, but at the same time, to me, some people call it like Asian, like vanilla of Asia or something. It does have that creamy sweetness, like in like the scent.
My wife loves to make chiffon cakes.
Oh my God!
And she makes these chiffon cakes, and she uses this. She'll run it through puree it, and add the green color and the fragrance.
Yes.
Oh. So yummy.
Usually you'd find these like in like swamplands, just like very wetlands, and they would just root like crazy out here. So just kind of multiply, and you just like divide them out. So they just like clumps just get bigger and bigger. So as we move back, looks like a fern. So I love fiddleheads or fiddle fern.
That's a sword fern, and the fiddle is like the end of a fiddle curls.
Right. So is there certain varieties? Like, can you pluck these ones to eat, or?
These are a little on the small side.
Yeah, okay. So, but they are edible? Like, these aren't like poisonous?
Yeah.
Is this edible raw at all?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Try it.
Yeah? All right. Here, you can film me.
You try. No, where's the dog?
I'm just going to pick that little part right there.
Tender, huh?
Mm-hmm, very tender. Well, here we go. First time. Oh, it's so tender.
Yeah.
Mmm. It smells pretty much kind of like when it's like sauteed, like cooked too. The scent doesn't really change. For those of you guys who's never had this is such a delicacy, even in like Pacific Northwest, because there's like a very like narrow window, right? When these like come up really fast, like during early spring or something. Mm-hmm. Once they get too big or they grow for too long, they just get really old. And like you can see this one, it's like, you can't eat that anymore. So good, it's so tender. That one's actually even better than the one I recently got at the wet market here. They're tasty. They're a little green. They're not fibrous at all. Can barely taste it. Nice little crisp, to it. I love it. They always grow in like the more wet areas, and like the more shade is like, it's a fern, right? Yeah. Well, let's move right over here. Got the very useful, if you guys cooked or you're out in the sun a lot, you definitely would put this plant to good use, the aloe vera. I also have this at home because it is a succulent, so it grows a lot easier in zone 10, in like in California or in the desert. Make good use out of these things. You can use it for your face, your skin. It's edible. I even add these in my smoothies to add a little bit of thickness to it, and it's really good for sunburns. All right, thank you. What I would do is actually I have a video showing you how I prepare it, but basically you score the two like spine parts out, and then it's like a fillet, and that's how you get the inside. But this is great. Since I've picked this, I think I'm just gonna keep this on. This is one of my favorite jasmine of all time. There are a lot of different jasmine varieties. There's some that I climb like a vine to, or like a tree, which Jefferson, like they have on this property like 15 trees or something, like a lot of them. But this one, I love this one the most. Jasmine is something that grows in part shade, bright filtered light. They definitely are happy with that. I see a lot of like Indian temples and Buddhist temples would have this one. And this is also the same smell I think they do with jasmine green tea. And I also grow another variety with a lot more, like this is like double petals, but there's one that looks like a mini rose that I have growing. They're all just super fragrant. Oh my gosh. Okay, now we're approaching the side of the house. It's more like an alleyway. So this is kind of like me if I were to garden in Vietnam. If I garden in the US with an alleyway, well, actually no, this opens up a lot bigger than mine. Yeah, but I love this part of the garden. To me, it's like, it's intimate. It's like a little secret garden, you know? It stays really cool. It's full shade here. It's kind of like the side garden in, I guess, in the States, if you were like to grow hostas, I guess, and fern and moss, because it's very moist here. And the smell from all the jasmine, this jasmine tree. So this is the one, they have quite a few of them on the property. It comes in like big bunches of like clusters of white, like almost like bell shape. They're really strong. Even one flower, it smells so strong. So it's nice that it picks up this scent as you're walking through this part of the garden, and it's just so shady. It's a nice break from like the bright, sunny, you know, fruit trees side of the garden. I love how it feels, the air here. It's just like all the humidity here, right? And then on the bottom here, if you look down, all these, this is called rau gangu, something like about crab, I think the word, but these grow like crazy out here. I've seen them all throughout like the south part of Vietnam. You add these to salads or just throw a bunch in like soups or stir fries, but mostly I see a lot of these in salads, and it just adds like a really nice crisp to it. This one has definitely a lot more flavor than the ones I've had before. A lot of stuff they're grown hydroponically now in the market, so they're pretty and they're clean, but they're tasteless. This is like really strong, and the green is, it's just super green here. And they grow low to the ground, they kind of trail. It makes a really nice border out here, but they grow so low and just, they don't need a lot of sun. So this is a really great plant. Oh, and look how beautiful this is as you use it as a filler in a pot. And as I love how it just drapes down, and all these seeds. Probably gonna be making a whole lot more plants here. It's vigorous, but it's nice that it's easy to pull out if you don't want in certain spots. I really love that about these plants. Oh, and I also got the fish mint here. All these, like Vietnamese food, a lot of it's just got about like fresh herbs and like pairing. You just pull a little bit of everything together. And I love this plate. They make it, they call jungle veggies or something, which is like the wilds, like whatever they have, picking a little bit of everything. So yeah, they are growing these. They don't take a whole lot, so you can just grow them in these plots, like these containers. Rau ram and Thai basil. It's one of my favorite basils. Oh, look at this elephant ear plant. It's part of the taro family, Baha. You gotta make sure they're fully cooked. And you just take this off. The stem has like a really nice crunch and sponginess to it, so it doesn't really have much of a flavor, but more for texture. So you put them in like the soups or your stir fry, it's all about like soaking up like the sponge, right? It soaks up all the flavor. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This jelly vine, grass jelly, I have this growing like crazy in my LA garden, and we make grass jelly with it. And Jefferson does the same thing with it, right?
That's right.
It just requires like no other binding agents. It binds to itself. I also have a video to show you how I did that, so I'll link it below for you. This vine goes crazy in in LA, but it probably grows like 10 times crazier out here. Okay, we are going, what's it called? Hey, how do you say it? What's it, garlic chives?
Yeah.
Nice little quick and grab things, and some mint. This mint smells like it's either spearmint or chocolate mint or something. It's strong. It's peppermint. It's so good. I love the sweeter mints. It's great in beverage. This must be like the shallot chives, is it? Yeah, we prefer that. I think the smell is so much better. You just harvest the greens. Wow, more bananas. And what variety is this?
This is one of the little lady fingers, the small banana. So you can eat 100 of them.
Oh, look at all the jackfruit. This is the fresh ones. Not from earlier. Was this probably yesterday or something?
Yeah, yesterday. We don't eat chili peppers, but we sure do give We give so many chili peppers to all of our friends. They can come and just pick a sack full if they want to. The weather's been so crazy for the last several months.
Now we're gonna go back to the front. Check out this beautiful curly kale here. He's got them growing in this raised bed all along this entire row. Oh my gosh, they're beautiful. And they actually make green smoothies. Some bananas and apples. I'm about to have homegrown kale in Vietnam. That's exciting. Hey, it's pretty sweet for being in the heat. It has like a little stronger like onion smell, like sulfur. That's good though. I don't see no pests. Wow, they're really healthy. They generally do attract like aphids, but these ones are so clean. Oh, and that grows right next to it. Oh, and you have it actually in part shade, so to get just morning sun. Wow. Okay, so maybe that's the secret for growing in the tropics. This is a very artistically done pole or trellis for a dragon fruit. In the tropics, it actually should be raised or probably grow in very like maybe very more sandy, so it drains out better. So there's that little one. I have faith in him. I think it's gonna grow again, and it'll climb up this really cool looking. I've been getting into like rock climbing, so like this is super cool. Reminds me of those where you can, you know, climb.
All the rocks came out of the garden.
Oh, that's awesome. I love him just repurposing everything from like the roof line, I don't know what you call it, the metal pieces, and then sifting things out to form these beautiful mosaic like stepping stones, and then cutting parts of the concrete to form the walls for the raised beds, like all along the sides of the garden. But something really exciting to show you guys is the loofah. Oh my gosh. A different variety than the one I'm growing. The one I have grows a lot larger, and I have multiple videos on the variety I have, so I'll point to you guys with the links below. This is so cool. I'll show you guys. I'll plug in that picture to show you. He was like, "Here, I got loofahs." Look at the loofahs.
We give many to all of our friends.
They're so prolific.
It doesn't seem to grow year round too good.
Do they ever die off and you just start them fresh again from seed?
I just ripped out all of these vines. Before, this is like all vines from the winter melon to gourds. I had gourds.
Yeah.
shaped-
Oh, okay. Like the bottle gourds,
The
right?
bottle gourds, and they grow so fast. I can only give away so many before they
Yeah.
get too big to give away. Then I just let them become loofah.
Look at the fruit. Is this another mango? What is this?
2 mango trees.
Oh, what kind of variety do you know?
Tasty
Tasty.
mango.
All most homegrown are tasty.
Probably cheaper just to go buy mango than to grow.
Yeah, I know. It's about the quality, right? Sometimes it is.
Sometimes it's just about the exercise.
That too.
The
It's
fresh air.
important. Yes. Oh, and your calamansi, kumquat, you call it. You
Yeah.
call it daitak. Yeah. These grow year round, right?
Yeah.
Flowers. Yeah.
Yeah, this
these
is
year
like
round.
a chili.
Chili looks like it's very healthy though. Look how big.
I don't, they grow everywhere. We don't.
Oh, that's your other mango there.
I use the Axeman style.
What does that mean?
You take an axe.
Oh.
And
Okay. Okay.
These break off pretty easy, but I read that it's better, if they go up, then they don't really do anything,
Yeah.
you know.
You need to
And
branch
so
off.
they need to come down, and it's like the new will have a
Like side, right?
clusters.
Yeah. Oh, and then you got like a black turmeric under it because they do like a little bit more shade.
Yeah.
You dig them up to use?
I would prefer to just dry them and make a tea or something.
And then this is lemon or
Yeah.
lime.
Yeah. They both start with the letter L.
They do.
Gardening is about working your soil. And it's not just sticking a plant in the ground. And so by cleaning the soil, purging, I was able to know that my garden soil is good. I know where it's weak. Gardening is really a meditation, a connection with nature, getting grounded, living a peaceful life. Considering this was just a midnight dump site for so many years, snakes, rats, scorpions. A successful garden is both internal, meditative, creative, but also go beyond that to your community. To give to your friends, your neighbors. They watch my property now
They
to make
watch it
sure
grow,
it is
but-
to make it safe.
Safe.
From two-legged rats.
I was gonna say. Thank you guys for making this far in the video. I hope you had enjoyed the garden as much as I have and all the beautiful findings from this garden. Let me know if you guys enjoy this sort of content. We'll have to come back and make a second one. I will see you here in the next video.
Ciao Ko, ciao Ann,
Ciao back, ciao.
hang
Joe.
up lai,
Hang up lie. Okay, bye guys.
tambiet.
Don't be it.
Oh, when my wife gets back, I think we will go around the neighborhood and give some to people.